Hello my loves, it's Christmas Eve! It's Christmas Eve and I've taken a rest from wrapping presents to show you my nails, honey. So I've already sculpted my clear base using the Nailmate forms, the extra long forms and crystal clear, and now I'm going to do a Glacier nail on this nail on my ring finger. So I'm going to show you how I do that. It's really quick and easy, so it's no faffing around. Can't deal with faffing this time of year, haven't got time for that malarkey. I tried to get this video out earlier, but it's been a heck of a week, so I apologise. I hope that you are able to watch it before Christmas maybe. Okay, I'm using my Valentino one-step gel in clear and some plastic kitchen wrap stuff, cling film, whatever you call it. And I'm just going to turn my nail over and apply some gel on the underside, making sure I don't touch my skin or my hypernicum. It's very easy, super duper easy. So, once I'm happy with that, I'm going to grab the cling film stuff, just mess it up a little bit. And a dotting tool as well would be useful, or an orange wood stick, something like that. To hold it in place. And then create a barrier so that you can't get the gel on your hypernicum. So first thing I did was tuck that plastic wrap under the gel so it stuck to it, and then just mess about with it and disrupt it, and you'll see the ridges starting to form. And then once you're happy, pop it in the lamp. This one cures for 60 seconds in my Sunfall lamp. And that's that. You've done a Glacier nail. It's so easy, guys. Right, so that's that done. Pull off the wrap. And I'll do a freeze frame so you can see the Glacier nail underneath. I'll use some isopropyl alcohol to remove the sticky layer because we don't need that. Just quickly do that. So, yep, just give it a scrub a dub dub, and there you go. You see the Glacier nail underneath there? It will come through a lot clearer later on. Right, so there's that done. Now let's get on with the rest of it. So I'm going to be using a lot of Valentino Soft Touch. It's like my favourite go-to white colour. And Valentino, this is 160, I believe. It's beautiful. I think it's called Cherry Bomb or something like that. My Nailmate and monomer. And my Bestie brush, size 12. So I'm just going to place a bead kind of like at the join level of this soft touch. It's, as you can see, really wonderful to work with, really creamy and beautiful. Now in the UK, the only distributor of Valentino products is Angel Crystals, and I am lucky enough to have a discount code. So if you intend on getting your hands on some, I heard the pastel flower collection is amazing. I'm getting that in the new year. Yes, I'm so excited. So I'm going to be buying that ready for the springtime. Apparently it's epic. So I'm just going to level that out, keep adding product. I do it in like normally a 3 section method on the nail. I break it up when I'm doing things like this, but this one was more like a 2. It's a pinky nail and quite a big brush. Now this is part of their core powders, so it's in a nice strong powder, which is great. And we'll be doing some crystal artwork on this nail later on, so it's very, very simple for now. It's quite a long video, so you might want to grab a cuppa. It's 32 minutes, 57 seconds long, but I didn't want to leave anything out. I think you've probably just been wrapping presents or cooking food and putting your feet up now if you watch it tonight and it's Christmas Eve. I'm really sorry I didn't get it out sooner, guys, but it's been a tough old week. Right, so I'm going to do a colour block on here on this Glacier nail. So the first part I'm going to do is with crystal clear acrylic, and I'm going to do like a V shape, so it's going to touch either side of the very tip and then come to a point up the nail. I'm working dry, as you can see, but that's what you want. Okay. Obviously, I had to clean my brush. You've got to keep an eye on your brush. I've kept this in real time because I want you to see the workability of this acrylic and how I can play with it and push it into place, tap it, pat it, and it still works for me and it still moves. And this is quite, it's a tricky little colour block. It's not like super duper hard. I think it's probably harder to do on yourself whilst filming. It's a lot easier to do on someone else, but I'm trying to keep my finger at a certain angle for you. So I'm a bit slower, just making sure I'm doing everything correctly. But as you can see, I'm just nudging it into place. It's like a chevron, I guess. And then we'll let that set and carry on and do the other nails. Now on the other nails, the middle finger and index finger are both having a base of Valentino Soft Touch. So I will fast forward that. I will still show it, but I'll just show it a little bit faster so that you guys don't have to watch the same thing over and over and over. So there we go. I'll use the 3 bead method on this nail. I love it. It's so creamy and gorgeous. It reminds me of icing. I kind of want to lick it. It's probably not a good idea. That's what it's like being on a diet at Christmas time. So excited, guys. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the kids to open their presents. I haven't got bugger all. Not worried. I'm excited for the kids. Oh, right. And then we'll place a bead on at the cuticle. Just build up the opacity and structure. I don't want to make it too thick because I have to do some art and then cap it. So I don't need it to be too thick. It's not art. I'm adding something. I'm adding an element to the nail, which is brand new and just landed in the UK, I might add. Oh yeah. Exclusive right here. Did you see on my story what I got from Angel Crystals for Christmas? They sent me an 850 gram bar of dairy milk. I live with lots of children and 2 girls that have monthly periods. Half that bar is gone. And it wasn't even me. But it was such a generous Christmas gift. I'm very, very grateful. Right, so carrying on with the same thing here, Valentino Soft Touch. And it is a soft touch. It's beautiful. Creamy. So whack it on. I feel like I haven't done a video for ages, but I'm only like 2 or 3 days behind my normal schedule. Feels like too long. Let me know if you want a vlog in January. Oh, it's the end of January, so it's ages yet. I'll talk to you about it nearer the time. I'll tell you about it nearer the time. I want a little excursion. Right, cuticle bead going on. Whack it on there. Beautiful. So creamy. I keep saying so creamy because it looks creamy. I'm obsessed with food at the moment. It's Christmas. So everything's creamy, delicious, lickable, eatable, edible, I mean, not eatable. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I could really eat that, lick that, touch that, taste that. It's this, I'm obsessed with food. Right, on the thumb, I'm using that beautiful red, number 160 from Valentino. This is the, I've had people coming in just like, that red, I want that red that's on your Instagram. I want that red because it's just so bloody beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you just paint it on really thin. You don't need to add a lot of product. It's very, very pigmented. Obviously, because it's very, very pigmented, it's not going to be as strong, so you need to cap it. But that's absolutely fine. So applying the second bead, just tuck the edge in with the tip of my brush and then just paint it down the nail. I did splodge it on my finger. I couldn't see the side. It's really difficult. You turn your hand at all sorts of funny angles when you're filming. You guys, if you do YouTube, you'll know what I mean. So I just take that off in a minute, get rid of it. Obviously, I'm not going to keep it there. It's part of the look. You see how pigmented that is? It's insane. Oh, I hear a helicopter. And then cuticle bead going on. Making sure that I don't flood that cuticle with that colour because it's very, very pigmented. So I'm going nice and slow and gentle with it. I've been looking at the rate, some of these guys on banging out Christmas videos, I've just not had a chance. Okay, next. We're going to file in this colour block. I'll use the 100 grit side to file in on acrylic. If it was gel, I'll use 180 or polygel, but 100 grit side. And just file in those sides of that colour block so it's nice and crisp. And then I'm going to do the top part of the colour block now because it's easier this way, trust me. So I'm going in with the Valentino red colour again, 160, I think, cherry something, I think. And I'm going to do it rounded at the cuticle. Basically, I'm mirroring what I've done at the free edge. So down into a point. I'll remove any sort of excess if it's too much product. You've got to work dry, but with colours they tend to be better when they're a bit wet. So I'm working dry, but at the same time, there's this like loud noise of an aircraft overhead and it won't go away. I'm working dry, but I'm making sure my brush is clean and I'm making sure that the product is wet enough to have polymerized. So while that's setting, I'll cap the thumb. I've just literally brushed down the thumb to make sure that the nail is a bit wet. Adding a nice big bead of clear that wanders off without me in a minute, as you can see, because every time I'm pushing that brush in, I'm releasing monomer, aren't I? So it's a bit of a pain in the arse, but we got there in the end. I'm sorry if you can hear the helicopter outside. There's obviously been an incident. We live on a main road, so there may have been a traffic incident or something. Right, so I'm just gonna continue to cap that thumb now. Oh, my shoulder clipped. Don't know what I'm doing now, probably cleaning my brush. I literally got these nails finished yesterday evening, so I was going to upload them yesterday, but I just didn't have time. Honestly, you know when you think you're all done and then you realise you've just not bought half your presents? That's the situation we were in. So we were one of those last minute shoppers. It took us half an hour to get out of the car park and my back and legs were agony just from going around like 2 shops. Kept having to sit down. I was like, sit down, I need a cup of tea, I can't stand up anymore. Right, that thumb's almost done. Keeping it nice and smooth the whole time. I'm checking the shape and stuff. Now we're going to file in the other side of that colour block. Make sure that's nice and sharp. And honestly, doing it this way, it does make it easier for me anyway, because the end part is very, very easy. Getting rid of all that dust. And now I'm going to put on a nice dry bead of Valentino Soft Touch and just nudge it into place. And it's going to fill up the whole of each side. Doesn't matter if it goes over the lines. We've already measured out the barriers. We already know that everything's of equal proportion, so it doesn't matter. Like sometimes if you're doing a linear colour block and you go over the lines, it can distort what you see and you can think it's thicker than it is and then your lines don't look right. But in this case, that gap's been pre-measured. That gap has already been created. We can just fill it with product and it will look beautiful at the end. Well, I'm going to have a good look out the window, you know. See what I can see, because I keep hearing this blimmin' plane. I can't see anything. Oh, I can. Oh. It's up in the air, you know. Right. Same on the other side. Nice dry bead. Tucking it in. Nudging it into place. So everything I do is, the bead's quite dry anyway. It's moist enough to, sorry if you don't like that word, to grip, but it's not, you know, so wet that it's all over the place. So it makes it easier to control. And the idea is just to not get it too bulky. I mean, it all files off in the end anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I just don't want it too bulky. There we go, another bead on. Just tuck it all in. I'm sorry if I do go out of shot a little bit. It's incredibly difficult sometimes to stay in shot, isn't it? Right. So now I'm going to show you the next bit. Now these stickers are from the Painted Koi. These sets have just landed in the UK. They were a bit later than intended because postage was just a nightmare apparently. But there's the snowflakes, there's all different shapes and they are phenomenal. I've used things like striping tape and stuff before. These are different. They're super sticky, super shiny. They're just, oh, I would never use anything like you know, like striping tape. I hate it. I absolutely despise it and I won't work with it because it just always comes off and it never goes right, or it looks dull, it doesn't look right. So I used the little linear pieces from here. There's all sorts of shapes. I've got ones that look like baubles and bows. She does loads. Like, the selection is just amazing. And obviously there are imitations and stuff, but the original ones from her are the ones that Angel Crystal stock. And they're so easy. I'm so happy with the way they turned out. I was like really sort of wary of whether I'd have the same problems that I've had before with stuff like that, but no, I didn't, so I'm happy. I'm a happy lady. And what I've done is I've just double stacked the middle row so that it's one right next to another, so it's a thicker line, you know, like when you have candy canes and stuff like that, one line's thicker, or so they don't all look even. So the middle one's thicker and then either side is a single line. Really easy to do. Very simple but very effective. Just bear in mind you've got to cap it, so make sure your underneath layer isn't too thick, otherwise when you cap it you're going to have one fat ass of a nail. Okie dokie. So then I've literally just made sure they're all pushed into place. Just wipe over the nail with monomer because the nail is dry because I've filed it. So I gave it a quick file before I applied those stickers because I didn't want to put them down on a lumpy surface. It made no sense to me. So I filed the nail first, and then I'm just going to cap this now. Making sure it's not too thick, but it's thick enough so that I can safely file back without damaging the stickers underneath. I can't wait to try out all the others. There's so many, like, it's so quick and easy. So there's so many things you can do. Just making sure those sides are capped. Obviously, if it ain't matte, it ain't capped. You know it. So make sure it's turned matte. You've lost that shimmer, that sheen. Don't worry about the bits dangling off. You can trim them off in a bit. Not a problem. It's better to have them intact while you're capping, I say, anyway, in my opinion. In my opinion, honey. Right, there we go. Now this is all drying in place, I used a fine bit on my e-file because I didn't want to gouge out chunks of the design. I just wanted to take the bulk off the filing. But I didn't really want to damage the design. And you see that pink stuff I've got around my file? Basically, I started getting like a lump on my finger, like a hard lump, you know where the bone is? Because I'm pressing against it and using the same tool over and over again, and I rub my brush on that. All my tools, I seem to press against that particular part of the finger joint. So yes, I've decided to use that pink tape around the e-file, and it definitely helps. And then also if I'm working on someone's nails, I'll wrap that finger as well because I push it against my brush, and it's quite painful at the end of the day. It's quite uncomfortable after a while. So I'm literally filing it to reveal the design. I'm not going to take off all the bulk with it. I will do the rest by hand. I just wanted to get the most of it out of the way. I'm not fussed about the central join, which is, you see where the pink joins the clear, which is why I didn't faff about with it, because there's crystals going there. So it's not a big deal at all if it's a little bit off, not fussed. So I've filed them all now off camera because that was a lot easier. And I was sent this Wonder Woozy gel. I will tag, she actually has a YouTube channel as well, so I'll tag her. And I'm going to use this combined with the Super Gloss from Nailmate to do the crystal work with these beautiful Swarovski pixie in Cute Mood. They're petite pixies, they're the tiny ones. They're so beautiful. I need to get a new pot actually. I'm running low now. I've used so much and they're super popular. Right, so this Wonder Woozy gel, apparently you can use it as a spider gel, a foil gel, a crystal gel. You can use it to do enhancements. You can use it for all different purposes. They've got a whole list of things. I used it to apply the Swarovskis on this nail, and it's like a very, very thick, sticky gel. The curing times are different, so I spoke to Catherine and she said 180 seconds, so that's what I did. You see how stringy it is? So you can use it as a spider gel, and you could do a spider gel design and then press foil into it. I mean, that would look awesome. So there's lots of choices. It's very versatile. Obviously I've only tried it for this. It's perfect. It's held up really, really well. So I'm going to top coat over the top, and the reason for that is because this gel has a tacky layer and I don't want a tacky layer in between my crystals. And then I'm just going to sprinkle the Swarovski pixie over the nail. This stuff is just so beautiful. And then just use my fingers to, I don't want it sticking out too much at the edges because it will make the nail look really fat. I'm just tapping it into that gel. I want to make sure it's sunken into that gel and not just teetering on top, because then you will lose them. And as you can see, I'm getting in a sticky mess. I did catch the side of my pinky when I was filing these into shape. I proper sliced it. It bled and it really hurt. I had to stop, clean it up, seal it, make sure it was safe. Okay, so I've put that in my lamp for 180 seconds. That's all in place now. Now I'm using that gel again, and I'm using it to paint lines. And because it's thick, it's bloody perfect. So it's not moving anywhere. I struggled to do this side, but that's because I always struggle to paint the left-hand side of a nail. It's nothing unusual there, it's just me. So I'm doing a line. I didn't have to do it, I just thought it added to the wintry effect, like snowy and icy. And I'm sprinkling over this glitter from Tammy Taylor Nails. It's from Dazzle Rock, her Dazzle Rocks glitters, and it's called Disco Ball. It's really, really nice. So I'm going to sprinkle that over, and then I'm going to cure that nail as well. And I did 120 seconds on that because I didn't have any Swarovskis in the way. Yes, I've got a label stuck to my cardigan. I only realised today as I went to go out. So I'm just making sure that's all nice and in shape the way I want it. Shush, Milo, shush. Oh, stop it. Somebody's outside in a car. Now that's sealed in place, I'm going to get on with these Swarovskis. These are the AB from the mix pack. These are the large ones, so I separate them into sizes. I'm using Angel Crystals adhesive, Angel Crystals tool, and I'm just going to pop that in the centre there. It almost looks like a bauble on top of a Christmas tree. So we'll let that set into place, and then I'm going to add a little cuff of crystals around the top. I think I've done quite well. I've held back reasonably on the bling, for me anyway. This is quite tame. It's quite basic. The only crystals I've used are AB and the pixie, so it's affordable. It's, you know, wearable. And I'm just going down in size. I really like it, it's pretty. I will let that set before I do anything with top coat. Do not top coat while the glue is still dry. It will absolutely ruin your top coat and the adhesive. So, and then on this one I'm just doing 3 AB crystals going in descending order. I've used the second biggest, the third biggest and the fourth. So I've not used the very, very biggest, which you can see on the other nail. Largest, I shouldn't say biggest, it sounds stupid. I'm tired, forgive me. Got to try and get this video out tonight as well. Right, so now we're going to top coat. You see that Glacier nail come through as well. I'm top coating around the crystals, and I will go in with a detailer brush to ensure that I get fully around the crystals. It helps kind of vacuum pack them in, if you know what I mean, it like suck them down. This detailer brush I'm using is my favourite. I'm in love with it. It's by Aero Puffin, and they sent me one ages ago and I broke it. I got it clogged, so I bought another one. The downside is it takes ages to arrive because it's from Russia, but I bloody love it. And they're cheap, they're like a £5. Look at that. Hallelujah. Gorgeous nail. I'm well happy with that one. Again, I'll tuck it in around the crystals. Make sure it's all pretty full. Oh, they are sparkling. Index finger, we're going to straight up top coat because I'm going to do some 3D on that. So I told you this is a long video, but it's got a lot in it. So yeah. And the thumb. And then once they're all cured in my lamp for 60 seconds, we'll get on and do some 3D work. Oh, look at that. I love that red. Oh man, I love red. I really like red nails. I know some people think they're tacky, but I think they're super sexy. Right, so we're top coated and shiny. I'm going to get on and do a little bit of 3D. Very simple. You don't see me do a lot because I think I'm crap at it. But, you know, I really wanted like little poinsettia, how do you say that flower? Is it poinsettia? I don't know. I wanted those petals on my nails anyway, the red flowers for Christmas time. I wanted them on my nails, so I just made them, and that's that. And I like them, I'm happy with them. So I'm pushing them out. I do wait for the acrylic to go matte, like a lot more matte, so that the bristle hairs make indentations because it makes it look a lot more realistic. If you do your flower too quick, you just end up with a plastic looking splodge. Speaking from one who has made a million plastic looking splodges. So I really do use dry little beads. This is the size 5 3D brush from Glitter Planet. Because it's got a really pointy tip, you can pick up tiny beads with it. It's really nice. So I'll just work that. I do 3 at the top, and then I'm like, as if they're dripping down the nail. It's another thing, I'm going to do more 3D acrylic in the new year. And more videos. Who wants more videos? I'm going to do more videos. Right, so we'll do them going down the nail now. And make sure I let them dry. I have fast forwarded because obviously you're just watching wet acrylic dry, which is like watching wet paint dry. So that would be very boring. But I'm just pushing side, side, and then dragging down. It's really simple. And if your bead is at the right, what's the word? If it's at the right stage of setting, you will have those lovely indentations that just give it texture. That's all. It gives it a little bit of texture. I'm probably just cleaning off my brush. These coloured acrylics get ever so, they soak into your brush. You have to give it a good old clean. So waiting for the last one to set. Putting my lid back on so I don't knock it over. You know what it's like? I knocked over a whole pot of crystals the other day. I nearly cried. Hang on, I will move. There we go. Again, bring it down. Now, as soon as these are all set into place, I'm going to add some Swarovskis, and I'm using that Wonder Woozy gel again with a dotting tool so that I can create the suction that holds the crystal down, because it's an uneven surface, so adhesive will not work the same as this. So it's nice to have like a thick gel. Some people might use a poly gel. I've tried it and it didn't work for me, but maybe I didn't cure it long enough. So with the thick gels, when you use them, they sort of like, the crystal goes in and it's like, it's drawn down into it, and then the gel creates a barrier and a seal around the edge of the crystal, which is what holds it in place, which is why we need to cure it properly. So I did do a 180-second cure on that as well. And I'm making sure here that there's just little bits of gel in between, that there's no gaps, because that's where you will lose your crystals. So they need to really be like on. And then the same going down the nail. On each little petal there'll be a little crystal. I need to buy more. I go through so many, but I love them. I can't help it. Here we are, just pop it on. Same on the last one. Oh, there was a little bit that didn't have enough on there then. And then after that, I just applied some cuticle oil from NAF Stuff in gingerbread. And that was that. They were done. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you stuck it out to the end, thank you so much. This is my last video I would have thought for this year. You might see one next week, but if not, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful Christmas. And I will see you very, very soon. Tally bye!